call to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Albro,
Present.
Ms. Calderon,
Here.
Mr. DeCosta,
Present.
Ms. Dunn,
Present.
Ms. Coffinger,
Here.
Mr. Luna,
Here.
Ms. Ryan,
Here.
Vice President Gomez,
Here.
President Andrews.
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, the New Milford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall and the New Milford Public Library. Notices have been sent to the Record and the Twin Borough News. The board announces that under its long-standing policy, it will not discuss in public any comments made by members of the public concerning individual staff members. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. Meetings of the board are open to the public, and all members of the community should feel free to participate. Before coming to the board, the chain of command should be followed. There are two portions of the meeting reserved for comments from the public. The first at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only, and the second at the end of the meetings for other items. Issues raised by the public may or may not be responded to by the board, but all comments will be considered. The board requests that all members of the public be mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Due to confidentiality and legal rights afforded by the state of New Jersey, members of the public are asked not to speak negatively or in a derogatory manner about any employee or the board or any student. As outlined in New Milford Board of Education Bylaw 0167, actually, do we want to open to the public, or do we want the presentations first?
Presentations?
Yeah, we have that here, but let's switch it around and do the presentations first. We'll open to the public after. We have, I'm looking on the agenda where it is. But this evening, we have Mr. Manipelli and some high school students here to give us a presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Hello at home. And YouTube. So today, I just wanted to share some information with you all. You know, we've been through a lot over the past 2 years, and one of the things that makes me most proud of my students. So I really wanted an opportunity tonight for you to hear from them about their experience here at Milford High School, what messages they can share to either the parents and students at home and also to the Board of Education. We really wanted to focus on letting them hear from our students here what's really going on, what's happening in the school, what we provide for them, the opportunities that are available to them. And then also some options. You know, unfortunately, the presentation I can't show you today. I'll share it with Ms. Shanley, and she'll share some information out. But really, it's just about a focus on ways to get involved. So, how do students get involved? What are they doing beyond the classroom piece, and also in addition to the opportunities within the classroom, and then options for earning credit outside of there. So, what I wanted to talk about today first, I'll just go off my phone a little bit. So, ways to get involved. So our students have the traditional ways to get involved with their activities, whether it be sports, clubs. You know, we have the musical going on right across the hallway from me. I wish I could hear all the singing going on and see the whole production. So there's the normal activities that you can think of. All right, but some of the students today are going to share some other options of ways to get involved. And one of those options are called, one of the things we call option 2. So option 2 is a way for students to earn credit other than the traditional route. So you go to class, you earn credit for the class you're taking. But some of the ways that they can do that is through dual enrollment. So one of the things for option 2 that we do is for our dual enrollment classes, students that are currently here at Milford High School. We have a dual enrollment program with Fairleigh Dickinson University. So students can be here and earn college credit at the same time. So that's what we have established already. We're looking to make a transition to Bergen Community College. Because there's better pricing for us, more opportunities, more flexibility. But the current students that are enrolled in dual enrollment now will continue to get their classes. And then for next year, we're going to transition to Bergen Community College. So dual enrollment piece is great because parents can pay to have the college credit. So they carry those credits into their college experience so they can get a head start on what's going on. One or the other, sorry. Okay. One of the areas that we have is our independent studies. So some of the students that are involved, so we have a cross-section of students that are here. They're going to talk about their experience in each of those areas. So we have independent studies where students can pursue their own interest, right? Something that we don't offer here in school. They do an application for an independent study. They receive a mentor. We go through Ms. O'Doxter. She approves all our paperwork, obviously, for all these items as our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction. She helps set that up. We have teachers mentor our students, and they pursue areas of interest that they want to learn more about. And it goes beyond what we can offer here at the classroom level, but it's their own passion that they want to pursue. So the independent studies are a great option. We use EduSeer. EduSeer is an online course. It can be used for many different ways. It can be used for remediation efforts, homebound instruction, but we also use it for advancement. Right? So students that want to take an opportunity to take more classes, do additional classes during the school year, do it during the summer. So this EduSeer is a great opportunity for us. It's difficult because it's all online. So that aspect of it, you have to be ready for that kind of commitment, because that type of learning is different. And so it's got to be the right type of student that wants to take on that challenge and feels comfortable in that kind of environment, because there's a lot of responsibility on the student themselves, but it's also a great opportunity for some students to advance. We also have our senior experience, our internship program. We partner with Bergen County Special Services. This is our third year, I believe, with the program, and we have approximately 24 students enrolled in the internship program. So they can find something that they're interested in. Students will come in. We traditionally would start in September and go through the full year. They get one full day out of school where they miss their current classes. They're responsible to make up anything they missed. And then they go to the site. All right, so we have virtual sites that we offer. We also have placement in a number of locations. I'll share with you guys some of those names of that. And they go for a full day. They commute by themselves. They go by themselves. They work. They have great experiences out in the job market. But also there's opportunities that Bergen County Special Service provides as far as current locations, or we also tap into their personal networks where they have a connection. Oh, I want to be an attorney. Okay, well, my uncle is friends with an attorney. Can we set up an internship with them? They go set up the site. They're licensed to do that. They make sure everything's appropriate. And then our two counselors, Steve Nalbone and Erica Bevan, who do a wonderful job, communicate with our guidance staff and our students on a regular basis. And they provide the opportunity for students to go out. So those are some experiences and opportunities. Option 2 also provides us the opportunity for possibly a student athlete that is a gymnast or an ice skater, right? That's in a quarterly fashion, meaning like for each marking period, if they're an in-season athlete, they can opt out of PE and pursue one of these other interests that are available. All right? There's a process that they have to go through and vet. It's not just we just sit in the media center and not do anything, right? They have to be working towards and learning in that time off. So those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you, just like a brief overview. In addition to that, the list of clubs I have is vast and covers so many different areas, but that's enough for me. You didn't come here to hear about from me speak as much. I'm going to turn it over to the students. We're going to start with Ms. Basone and we'll work our way around. They're going to share with you who they are, their grade level, what they're involved in, and especially some of the items that I mentioned here. If you guys can express and kind of talk about what your experiences with these different areas are. Some of you have multiple areas where you're involved. And then also I know you guys are very active in the extracurriculars, clubs, and activities. If you can kind of just share what you do, and then possibly something for the students at home to learn from about your experience, because you're great role models for us also. Ms. Basone, please.
Okay. Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Victoria Basone and I am a senior here at Milford High School. And for the past 4 years, I have served in student government as class president of my class. I've also been involved in community service club, peer leadership, National Honor Society. I've also partaken in athletics, and currently I am involved in an independent study during my senior free period, where I shadow Mrs. Karzos, a speech-language therapist at BF Gibbs Elementary School. And I've really enjoyed doing that. It's been very eye-opening and very reassuring, being able to watch someone partake in sessions that I will eventually, in a career I will eventually possess one day.
All right. Hi, my name is Shane Shaji. I am a senior at Milford High School. And honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about Milford High School. I really enjoyed my time in high school, and really that comes down to the extracurriculars I am involved in. So I'm co-president of our school's environmental club. So in that, we do a whole bunch of things. But the main thing I do is that I lead the vermicomposting initiative we have going on there. So we essentially compost with red wiggler worms, and we have bins of those in my advisor's room, and we take care of them each week. We feed them compost that I collect from people, whether it be from lunch, teachers, and stuff like that. We've also done stuff with elementary schools in the years past, and we're planning to do one this year.
Shane, can you share that the activity you did with the students with the water, with the elementary classes?
So yeah, last year, online, it was a bit hard because it was online, we didn't get to go in there, but we did a sustainability presentation with the students. So we presented of what sustainability is, and then we did a craft online over Google Meet with the kids, and they loved it. And I can only imagine how exciting it was for them to finally get their hands on doing a craft again. And then they really learned a lot about how to be a sustainable person. So yeah, that was really cool. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. And now we also did an eco challenge last year online, and it got pretty competitive with the staff and the students. But aside from environmental club, we have the Milford Speaks Out, Social Justice Club that I'm also involved in. That's about student activism. The Student Board of Representatives. I'm in charge of the water limiting paper usage initiative there. And then I'm also in Bergen County Math League, which it sounds a lot cooler than it is. It's really cool. I promise. We have a great advisor. And then also, I intern at Inglewood Health as part of the internship that I was mentioning. And it's really cool. I work in the cardiac services department. So I escort patients down for cardiac catheterization. I talk to patients, I communicate with them. And it's really cool because I get to see patients, they're very nervous when they're coming in, obviously, because how can you not be when you have such an important procedure? But then I see them walk out so much more relieved, so much healthier, and that's really due in part to the nurses and doctors that they come in contact with. And I want to be a pediatric nurse when I'm older, so it's been incredible. But yeah, those are the programs that I'm involved in, and I think part of my experience in high school is due to staff members. And so I'd like to give special shout outs to Mr. King, who is my English teacher, because he teaches English and he's a great teacher. He has improved my writing so much, but he extends his teaching to the real world and why what we're reading is important. Mrs. Torpy, my environmental club advisor, she's inspired me to be as passionate about the environment as her. Finally, Miss Simonovich, who is my math teacher, she always has her door open for whenever we need it and just to talk to her.
Thank you, Shane. So Ms. Simonovich, that's what it says.
Is it okay if I have my phone out?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I'm Katrina Itona. I'm a senior at Milford as well. And yeah, so some of the things that I'm involved in, I'm part of orchestra, I'm in the first section. I've done tennis all 4 years, so I finished my season as well. I'm in environmental club as well. Milford Speaks Out, our social justice club. Academies, which is the special program at our school. I'm also a part of the musical this year at Stage Crew, my first year. NHS, Triam, which is the Music Honor Society, and my internship this year. I just recently started it, but I interned at a law office in Hackensack under a criminal defense attorney. So mainly my job is to write summary articles, rewrite articles from press releases so that can be published on the attorney's website. What I'm passionate about is writing, so definitely a little bit off the course. I'm more interested in humanities and stuff, so talking about law and understanding language and the most concise way to share something is definitely what I've been learning. And it's really interesting as well just to visit the prosecutor's office, to read evidence, to go into a courtroom and understand a court case. That's what I've been learning about. Mr. Manipelli asked us to kind of think about a meaningful experience that we've had with our extracurriculars. and what kind of opportunities that has inspired us to go out for, to take initiative for. And I really thought about it, and I didn't realize that some of these people would be here. But some of my friends, like Shane, Xander, people you know, like Michelle Joe, Stephanie Vieira, they've started a lot of things at the school that has not been there before. For Shane, he mentioned the Burn composting. Xander will talk later about SBR. But I think something that is really meaningful about the activities at the school and the staff members that have supported us is that they allow us to create something that wasn't there before and to make an impact on this school that is very unique to our class, very unique to the people that are starting it, unique to the causes and what people are asking for of us. And yeah, I think it's very inspiring to see people take initiative and to just start. You know, you feel young as a high school student. You kind of feel scared to try things and try new things. But I've been really inspired by the staff members that have helped us and my peers that have really made the school something special and made it our own place and our own community.
Thank you. Just a shout out to Katrina. So Katrina and Michelle, when they came as freshmen, they were in Mr. Barada's engineering class, right?
I wasn't.
You weren't in that class?
No, that was Erica.
Oh, okay, sorry. But I remember Michelle Jo, she mentioned Michelle Jo before, and they competed against Mr. Barada, and it's a bridge building contest. So they ended up beating Mr. Barada and had the most weight that the bridge could hold. So that was one of the things I remember about that class, and I knew that the seniors here especially too, that they're inspiring from that standpoint. They take on any challenge, and it didn't matter who they were or being ninth graders, but that was good. Thank you. That's all good.
Hey everyone, I'm Atuli Rampati. I'm a sophomore at Milford High School, and I've been a part of many extracurricular activities, and these are many of the opportunities that have been presented by Milford High School. And I've been part of orchestra, which I've been part of since middle school, and I continue through high school. I'm part of academies as well, the special program we have here. I'm part of the STEM Academy. And also, as Mr. Manichelli talked about before, I was part of I did independent study last year and this year, and I'm planning to continue for my next 2 years that I'm here. I'm also part of a few clubs, and one of them I've started myself with the help of Mr. Smith, Mr. Richard Smith. He's the computer science teacher here, and he's been like a really supporting teacher with whatever I bring to him. The Computer ID Club, basically as it sounds, it's a computer club which kind of teaches and challenges students through programming languages. And we're actually planning to join a competition hosted by Microsoft called the Imagine Cup Junior. And we'll see how far it goes. And yeah, we're hoping to expand later on. I'm also participating in the Community Service Club and the Math Club. And also another thing that Mr. Manichelli talked about was EduSeer as part of option 2. And I've done 2 of these courses over summer to just kind of get ahead of the curriculum so I can learn more throughout my 4 years here. I did a course in chemistry and geometry, so I received credit for those, and that's one of the things that this high school has offered for me. As you can tell, I'm pretty interested in computer science, and I hope to pursue a computer science profession later on. And the experiences that this high school has gave to me have kind of laid the foundation for giving me like a commitment to actually be dedicated to and learn throughout like the school year. Because if I did it by myself, I'm not gonna lie, if I did it by myself, I probably wouldn't be as committed, and I probably wouldn't like be able to do as much as I did. And for the independent studies, at the end of the year, we have to give like sort of a presentation based on like what we learned. So that's really helpful for kind of just revising what I've learned and being able to implement it into like a more simplified version to present to others, so that I know that I also learned about the topic. And as I said before, Mr. Smith, despite only joining last academic year, he's been really helpful and supportful to me and whatever ideas that I bring to him. And even like in class, if I have any problems, if I have any doubts or anything, even if he doesn't know, he'd take the time to learn whatever is necessary and then kind of teach it back to me in a way that I would understand. So I'm really thankful to him.
Thank you. We until you presented his end of insight project to Mr. Smith and myself. So I was the only person in the room that didn't know what they were doing. So, but I was like, you got me at that point. But it was impressive, and as long as Mr. Smith was nodding, then I knew.
That was
Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Katie Kim. I'm in 10th grade right now. I'm in band since like middle school. I'm also in academies. I'm also part of the tennis team. I'm in clubs like yearbook club, student council. I'm also in student council, yearbook club, community service, and I'm also in, let me get my names. Book chat. I think that Milford does a really good job giving like array of different activities and clubs to partake in. All the clubs that I do are interesting. Some of them I join to push me and challenge me. Some of them is for my own interest. For example, book chat, not a big reader, but I joined it so I have something to read. I'm also am thankful that it gives me the chance to branch out, so then it will help me in college when I'm choosing my major. And I am personally doing Edge this year, and it helps me advance in certain subjects that I am interested in. So for me, I'm a big math person, so specifically I am advancing in math right now, and I'm very grateful that EduSeer gives me the opportunity to advance in that. And it is also challenging, like Mr. Rankelly said, it's very challenging to be able to do it independently, but it also teaches me things like time management skills and to take independence and self-confidence, because schoolwork sometimes makes me feel like, I'm not very confident in what I'm submitting, but EduSeer does a very good job in making me feel like I'm doing something decent. I would also like to thank a lot of teachers. One of them would be Ms. Poor, my counselor, who has helped me set up EduSeer and to weigh the pros and cons of being able to do this. And I would also like to thank Ms. S. or Ms. Simonovich, and my other math teacher, Ms. K. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Do you know?
Miss K.
Miss K.
Here.
Yes. Both of my math teachers, because I love math and they do a very good job in teaching it. I also like to thank basically all my teachers this year. So this includes Mr. King, because he's very good at teaching in a very fun way, but I also learned something. Mrs. Smith, my chemistry teacher, because I think chemistry and math are very hand in hand together, and she does a very good job in teaching math and chemistry. And Mr. Manzo, history, not very good at history, but he teaches it in a way where I can understand. And so the final thing I want to say is that I'm grateful for EduSeer because it gives me a chance where I feel like high school is not a long time, and I feel like there's a crunching time that I can't do everything that I want to do academically. And so EduSeer gives me the opportunity to achieve all my academic goals in such a short period of time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Xander Singh. I'm a senior here at New Milford High School. I've been in New Milford in the New Milford district since I was about day big at Berkeley Street Elementary School. So New Milford as a whole really has a dear place in my heart, and I hope to bring as much as it's offered to me back to the community and back to the students in particular. Extracurricular wise, I've been a part of the string orchestra for, I would say, maybe 7 or 8 years now, since the middle school. I'm a part of New Milford Speaks Out, which was jump-started again by Michelle Jill and Stephanie Piera. I'm in the academies. I was formerly a STEM member, but I've switched over to the Arts and Letters department. I am also a part of all of Ms. Sacker's mental awareness, drug prevention, those programs. But I really think extracurricularized, what I want to call like my magnum opus, is really the Student Board of Representatives, which I've had the wonderful opportunity to start here during my sophomore year, and I've worked with, I would say, relatively everyone here. My peers of all grade levels, the staff, the guidance department. I spoke to Ms. Shanley herself about it. So I've really had the chance to work with basically everyone, trying to see how best we can provide back to New Milford and its students, and to see what we can do to really enhance the education here, and to see what we can really provide and do more for kids that want to do more, just like all the same here. In terms of option 2, I'm taking AP Art History online. As my intended major is interior design and architecture, it was a relatively recent switch. So AP Art History really allows me to take another art class that doesn't necessarily fit into my schedule, but really expand my horizons on like the art and architecture of our past. And then also seeing how that contributes to our future, and seeing it from the perspective of a bunch of different cultures as well. But going back to SBR, I really do think that it's been such a wonderful opportunity to be able to start with the work of Mr. Manny Kelly since October and November. I've worked really closely, he's not here right now, Chris Dela Cruz, he's another senior who's basically my right hand. And we have so many student-led initiatives, such as working to get more opportunities with the curriculum, funding the music department, a co-op room initiative that Maria's a part of, the limited paper usage initiative that Shane is a part of, dance club, the list honestly goes on. So it's just really a way for students who want to be involved in something, that if that traditional opportunity isn't there, so that they can really find themselves a place in our big New Milford community, and see a way that they can help and have it be something that they're passionate about, and something that they know that they can bring to the table, not just to help themselves, but to really help everyone around them. In terms of some teachers and staff, I've really been helped to Ms. Tricario, my guidance counselor. All 4 years, she's been there for me every single step of the way, since I was making like little Google forms in sophomore year, to helping her with coordinating a fresh start opportunity for SBR. So she's really been there every step of the way. Ms. Venezia, she's one of the art teachers here. I recently switched into interior design senior year, so it's more of like a fine arts major. I've never taken an art class like ever in my life. And I was recently placed into her advanced studio art class for my senior year, won a Scholastic Gold Key Award for it, somehow, don't know how that happened. So she really is like some like magic ingredient that really just clicked for me. But outside of her, Mr. Manzo, Mr. King, Ms. Torpy, they've all really helped me with the respective academic fields for improving my writing, helping me better understand history, helping me better understand science. There really isn't an opportunity that doesn't exist here at Milford. And even if there isn't an opportunity for you, I really believe that students can create that opportunity for themselves. And by doing so, and with the support of the New Milford staff, can really let that opportunity that they created for themselves have it be something that can also benefit everyone else around them.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Prediger. I'm a junior here at Milford High School. Like everyone else was saying, I'm a member of the dual enrollment that Mr. McDough was speaking about. I'm also one of the previous EduSeer students. I took physics honors and pre-calc honors in order to advance myself and be able to take the courses I wanted to take this year and next year. I'm an academies member. I was a student athlete my freshman year. I was part of cross-country swim, spring track, and this year I'm part of mock trial, music production club, and engineering club. I feel like New Milford really does provide students with a lot of opportunities. For example, we have a marine biology club in class, which I feel like is very scarce in a lot of other school districts. We have wonderful guidance counselors. My guidance counselor, Ms. Tricario, she's been here with me all 4 years of my high school career, and she's helped me grow as a person and grow as a student and be able to achieve what I want to achieve. And I feel like everyone should be able to have a great connection with their guidance counselor in order to get what they really want out of high school and get the experience that they feel like they have always dreamed of. I'm part of the band. I'm actually the drum major for the marching band, and I feel like that has really helped me grow as a person, working with people, working on my communication skills, leadership skills, and it also just helps me have fun and be able to just communicate with other people, meet people from different towns, and go to these cool towns and see what their football teams are like and see what their bands are like, and like try and take that and grow from it. And that has led me to join a professional marching band. And I feel like Milford really just lets you grow as a person, and it like branch out, and like even if it's not part of the school, you can find information from like one of your teachers. And I know like I really appreciate Miss H, because she's always there whenever you need her. She'll just talk to you at all hours of the day, and like even if it's nothing school related, she's there as like support. Miss Sacker is here to support. I know I've spoken to her many times. And I really feel like New Milford is a place where it's like your second home. And when something is happening at your home, you can come here and people are there for you, whether it's your friends or like staff, or even like your favorite janitor that you see every day in the hallways. One of my favorite experiences from being at the school is going to Disney. The marching band goes to Disney every 4 years or so. We're actually going next year again. And I would really just like to appreciate Miss H again, Mr. Carrio, Miss Sacker, and Mr. Jacob too. He's my AP Calc teacher, and he really just helps me push myself academically and like help me achieve what I want to achieve for my college requirements, and like help me not doubt myself in order to do what I really want to do. And that's all I really wanted to say. I think the school is great. I feel like I've been able to accomplish everything that I wanted to accomplish in a timely manner, and I really want to thank this district for helping me do so.
And believe it or not, I did not hand them that stuff to say. I wouldn't be able to.
What'd you pay
share.
them?
Yeah, I offered pizza, and I only had a couple takers. But it's, you guys heard it. I mean, I didn't, like I said, I asked them 3 questions to say, listen, here's some talking points that maybe you want to bring up and share. And they took it on their own, as they always did. And obviously, the students here today are very driven and very passionate. But what's great about these students is they're showing everyone else that you can have this, right? It's not, oh, they don't have, it's not, these students have never been the ones that say, oh, you don't have this, so I'm upset, I'm giving up on it. They said, well, we don't have it, and let me go talk to Mr. Manupelli and see if we can get that, or can we do this? And that's something I learned from Danielle and Lauren and everyone else on the board as well, is that, when they provide, or they have the questions, can we do it? Most of the time it's yes, like how do we support you on that? So I want to thank them. And then, Xander brought up SBR, Student Board Representatives. It was an initiative that has highlighted and grown, right? Because it was him and Chris, and they came forward and they want to do this. I'm like, all right, let's make it, let's get representation of the whole community within our school. And they did it. And if you see the initiatives that they want to put forward, they're varied and it touches all grade levels and different interests. So you'll learn more about that. They want to present later on in the school year, and we'll give them some time for that. And I know Ms. O'Doxon and Ms. Shanley already spoken to some of the students as well to jump on board in some of the initiative work that they're doing. But I just want to mention one thing that I didn't get to mention before. So the partnership with Bergen Community College, what we're looking for as well is the early college program. Right? So it's not a large percentage of students that get involved in the early college program. Basically, you can earn your associate's degree while being a student here, right? So it's a big commitment, but it's a wonderful opportunity because at the cost, right, to earn an associate's degree, I think you'd be approximately about $8,000. You can actually get your associates done, right? So for the students that are truly driven and want to kind of become part of the experience, so we're in talks with Bergen Community College. We met recently with them. And we're laying the foundation for that and to look to try to get that for next year, for next year's junior class. There's also the Bergen Experience, which is an opportunity for students to take classes at Bergen while still being a student here. So that's another option. Obviously, the dual enrollment we spoke of, and then there's also early career, right? So some skills and some certification programs that we're looking to offer for other students as well in the future. So there's a lot there. And we want to offer more because I know students like this and other students would jump on the opportunity, and I'm sure the parents are sitting at home, hopefully they're still with us, to learn that you can get your associates while attending the Milford High School and at that cost, when we know how much college costs, right? I think it would be a great opportunity for them. So more information to follow from that. But I just want to thank them all for tonight. It makes me very proud. Sometimes I doubt what I do. Sometimes, we all question. But when I hear that, then I kind of like, well, all right, I'll take that. All right? I know it had something to do with it. It's just, it's a great thing. So I want to thank you guys for everything, and I appreciate your time. And I will also ask you guys.
Well,
you got any
questions,
sorry.
maybe questions.
Yep.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go first. Thank you so much for coming tonight. That was great to hear. You guys are doing so much, and you all thanked the school, but I think the school may have, Mr. Manupelli and the school may have said, sure, yeah, let's explore this, but you're obviously intelligent and driven, and it came from you. So you should be patting yourselves on the back, and your parents who raised you that way. And it's great, because studies show that engagement and involvement and connecting to things you enjoy only improves. So I'm glad that you've had this experience, and thank you for telling us about it. So yay, and let's do more. Okay, Tony, you had your hand up first.
Like Mrs. Andrews said, thank you, because as the father of a 5th grade girl at Berkeley, and we're always talking about the future, the efforts that you've made have proved that there's no ceiling. You can go as far as you want. So I appreciate that a great deal, because I know it's a great deal of sacrifice. When you talk about EduSeer and things like that, that's beyond your normal course load. Then you add your extracurricular and your athletics, et cetera, and your volunteer work and your internship. Work, when you get a job, work should have seemed easy. Now here's my question for you. When you come out of 8th grade, I don't think you know about all these opportunities yet. So what's the timeline of where you start to be informed about all these different things that you do? Is it something that you investigate, or is it something that's presented to you? Anybody?
Well, we have club fairs each year, so I think that is a big opportunity to discover these types of clubs. So that's always really helpful, but there are clubs that I didn't really know about my freshman year. So then I would hear about it my freshman year, I'd be like, oh, sophomore year, I'm totally joining that. So that's probably where I've discovered most of my clubs. And then, like Sandra mentioned, even if there's not a club that's not there, you can always make your club. You can always talk to Mr. Manupelli and make your own path.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes, Paige. I didn't know if somebody else said.
So first, wow. Holy cow. I feel like so lazy. But I just, everyone else said thank you. There was there's been a vision that's been many years in the making where, we want it to be student-led, right? Student-led. And you're a representation of the students that are doing this. And there are more. But it's so thankful, because there are a lot of adults that wouldn't do what you're doing, wouldn't step out and say, I'm interested in this thing. I'm going to take additional class because I want to get ahead. I want to get an internship in a certain place that I'm interested in. I'm going to, these things that you've done are amazing, but even the things that Mr. Manupelli brought up that we're going to continue to go through, right? Including the career education, which is a big part of it, because a lot of your classmates probably don't necessarily want to do the academic route, but they would chomp at the bit to be able to do these other opportunities. So what you're doing is laying the groundwork, and you're all not seniors. So what I ask of you, those that are seniors, I'm just trying not to think about it. But those that aren't, what I would ask is that you spread the word. You let Mr. Manupelli and your teachers continue to let them know how you think other students would be interested in something, how you think we should communicate to those students. Like Mr. Albert said, do we go to the 8th grade? They did a fair, to introduce coaches. Do we do a fair to introduce clubs in 8th grade? Because like Shane said, he heard about it freshman year. Maybe if he heard about it in 8th grade, he would have at least asked about it in freshman year. So, something like that. Whatever you think will work, because you know You've already proven it. You already proven that you know what you want. And we are all here to make sure that that happens. So thank you so much.
Cheryl.
So I just want to say, I'm completely unimpressed by this. I want to say this. I graduated from Milford High School. My name is Cheryl Calderon. I graduated from Milford High School class of, I actually won't tell you what class, because it's too much. And back when I came here, we were not offered the same opportunities. I'm going to shout out some of my teachers. I was the editor of the yearbook. And I'm going to date myself now because we published a newspaper called The Lancet. And you know, my teachers were Mrs. DePoto and Mrs. Chiarella, Mrs. Rabindus. I still now to this day remember everything that they did for me. And I can tell you that I thought I was involved in a lot of things, and I listened to your stories and I'm like blown away by what you guys did. And I can tell you just that I'm so impressed. It led me, you know, I ended up going to Rutgers, and it led me to become like a resident advisor, orientation leader, just the small number of things that I did. So I really have no doubt that you guys are going to move on to do even greater things. And again, like, you know, I just encourage you to keep up the good work and spread the word to your class that maybe necessarily not involved in all those things. And my question for you guys is, when do you sleep? You know? So that's all I want to say.
Believe it or not, I know it doesn't look it, but I'm actually older than Cheryl, and I graduated even earlier than her. There's actually two teachers that I can think of that are still teachers here, and one is retiring this year. So that would probably be down to one teacher that's still here from when I was here. But anyway, my question to any of you who is willing to answer it is, I remember the class when I was in high school that kind of made this tremendous difference for me. Like, not necessarily the teacher, but the class, like subject matter where I learned something that just kind of changed my outlook on high school, on life in general. So my question is do any of you have a class that you experienced, could have been freshman year, could have been whenever, or an extracurricular, a club that you were involved in, either of the two, in which like that moment kind of made you say like wow, gave you like a realization as to like what you might really be interested in moving forward. And I thought of that because somebody mentioned the marine biology class and how, I think it was you, right?
Right.
So she had mentioned how like she thought that was an opportunity that wasn't really available to everybody at a lot of schools. So is there anybody that had like that class or that extracurricular that really made an impact on them? I'd be really curious.
Yeah, I'd like to answer. So I'm taking two classes this year that I think would definitely fit what you were asking. My AP Literature, my AP English and Literature class with Mr. King, who's my favorite teacher, and my AP European History class with Mr. Tusa. So my prospective major going into college is comparative literature. Very niche, but just to sum it up, it's basically the cross-section, intersection of language, art, and pieces of work, literature, and art, film, media, anything. So my European history class, just to start, I feel like it was made for me. I love it so much because every day we talk about a new era of philosophy, a new movement of art, and how that connects to history, how that connects to culture, economics, science, everything. I feel like I've been really inspired in that class to see the connection between all parts of life and all parts of just humanity in general. And that would bring me to my literature and composition class as well. Mr. King is an amazing teacher. I feel like he's so hard. But one of the main things that I took away from his class and I input on my own reading is sort of what is the effect on the human psyche? And like, what are we understanding about people in general? I think those classes have taught me so much about becoming my own person, finding my own identity, finding what my values are, what I care about, who are the people around me that I care about. And I think those classes have really bled into just my life and the way that I see things, my passions, the way that I connect with people. Yeah, I can get really emotional talking about it. But, I really love those classes, and I think those teachers and the lessons that I've learned in those classes, not just like curriculum, not just my assignments, but the things that I've learned just as a person have really taught me how to give back to my community, what it means to help others, what it means to serve others, what it means to learn for the sake of learning. Yeah, I've definitely become a nerd. I love talking about art and film and history. So, yeah.
That's excellent. Are there any other questions? Okay.
I would
Stephanie?
have a comment to make to these students. If I was to close my eyes, I would not think that you are high school students. I would think that I was in a room of very well-spoken professional adults, and it's refreshing. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful to see. And I'm blown away. I just wanted to say thank you. Excellent job.
And Mrs. Shanley?
I've
And
been,
then I have an ask, but go ahead, you first.
I've been taking notes.
What did you say?
I've been taking notes of all the things that I want to say. So a little later, Ms. O'Dox and I are going to talk about our CUSAC visit today, which was a county visit where they come and they investigate every little detail of your professional life. And one of the things, I spent a large part of the day is bragging about this district and how we are this little emerald in Bergen County and how special the students are here. And not just that they're smart or that they're athletic or that they're service oriented, but that I feel that the student body here is very special. And I can't quite put my finger on it and describe it in words, but you all did that tonight. You showed anybody who's watching tonight and everyone here just how special you are. We took a walk during our visit today, and I said, would you like to go down and see the students? You know, you're in like piles of paper and going through checklists and all this kind of stuff during this CUSAC visit. And I said, would you like to take a walk down the hallway and go to the cafeteria? And they were like, oh yeah, let's go. I said, well, anytime Lauren and I are stressed out, we go visit classrooms and see kids, and because it makes us feel good, to be perfectly honest with you. It makes us feel good. And we walked down there, and the leadership from the county office said, my gosh, you have such a nice culture here. There's such a nice vibe here. The kids seem so sweet. And I said, they are. They're absolutely exceptional. And I know that Ms. Harrell and a few of our faculty members and Officer Trinkleback went on an academy trip last week for a few days. And Trinkleback said to me, my gosh, she goes, the kids are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And everywhere we go, people praised us on how great the kids were. So I think you know you're wonderful, but I just want to tell you again, really how wonderful you are. I had an opportunity to attend the student board representative Shark Tank pitches. We just happened to stumble upon it, and Lauren and I got to see a lot of your ideas, and we were really impressed with the diversity in the things that you presented, and we hope to be able to help you, support those things. I've had private meetings with some of you, with Shane about invigorating the flex period into a fresh start period, and we had a private conversation and with Xander and about student board rep and internships and things like that. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Our goal always has been, because I was here and then I left and I came back. So if I go all the way back to 2010 when I started here, it was really all about creating opportunities for students, listening to student voices, letting them know that we're listening, finding a way to say yes. Mr. Manpelli will tell you, we do what we can to find a way to say yes to our kids, because that opens doors and it allows you to grow. And to hear you say that the adults here with whom you've interacted have supported you, have encouraged you, have opened your eyes to new things, have introduced you to new passions or new opportunities, that makes me feel really good, because we are here to serve you, and not for 1 second. Sometimes you get a little wrapped up in paperwork and to-do lists and demands from the state or the county. We're here to serve the kids. That's absolutely our number one job. And when we took a walk around the school and they saw our students in the media center, and they saw our students sitting out on the patio tables, and they saw the kids sitting in the hallways, the county office, just remarked over and over again and nobody knew who I was with. It wasn't as if the students knew that we were like coming through. And I'm just so impressed and so proud of what you shared here today. Like, I was sitting here tearing up a little bit because I'm certain that the world out there, even in our little community here, has no idea all of what you experience in a week, in a semester, in a year. And Mrs. Ryan, you talked about how do we share this with 8th graders. So as a parent, okay, of an 8th grader who was looking at high schools, in the fall is when all of the private parochial schools have their open houses. And I talked to Mr. Rampelli and I talked to Mr. Riccardelli, and I said, this meet the coaches thing that we did here in isolation just now in the middle of winter really needs to get moved to the fall. And what we need to have is an open house during the time that all of those high schools do what they do. Because it's only when you come here and meet with students from the student board representative organization that you have any idea really what we have to offer here. And so that is definitely in the works. And something else that came up, and I spoke to Mr. Rampelli about this too. So Mr. Chris Ryan, who used to be a board member here and was a vice president of the board at one point, was a former English teacher in Hackensack. And he shared with me what I think is a wonderful idea. He would love to work with the students during Fresh Start to introduce to you the potential to publish your own high school survival guide for the students who are coming into the school. And so the next Fresh Start, he will be offering a session to help the students put together something for the rising 8th graders, well, rising freshmen, because nobody knows what we do here like you do. So there's no handbook that we could possibly put together that would ever speak to the students in a way that you all could. We had the elementary students here, we've had the middle school students here, and they were just so adorable and they did such a wonderful job and were so articulate and well-spoken. But to see all of you, it's like a full continuum, seeing the full continuum and the possibility in the 7 of you that sit on that couch. To me, it's really just a little piece of all that we are here in New Milford. And thank you so, so much. I'm so excited for you. You have so much to offer. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, I have an ask. It is clear that this group of students is going to be very, very successful one day. So I am going to ask that one day, after college, when you're working, you traveled, you're enjoying life, you're going to remember New Milford, and you're going to come back and inspire the students here. The way Josh De La Cruz came back to talk to the theater students, we have such diversity here. We have art and architecture. You need to, talk to the art kids. Computer science, in any way that you can help those students who may even need just some inspiration by seeing someone who was in their place and they achieved their dreams, because I know you will. Just listening to you speak, you will. So my ask to you, not request, but ask, is that one day when that happens, come back and inspire the kids. And I think that's what makes this town so special also, is that it's such a community. People are always helping each other. So you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming and sharing tonight. And we will let you go, because we always
We know
say
you
students,
guys-
you're students, but you are
Clearly.
beyond students.
Yes.
You need to get some sleep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Manicali.
Thank you.
Great job.
Appreciate it. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
So proud. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're doing something. Danielle, we have open to public for items on the agenda, but we don't have items on the agenda.
No, so for any,
Yeah, so but then do we have open where the, so we'll just do that at the bottom. All right. So we said we were going to rearrange, but actually we don't have items on the agenda, so we will skip that. We'll open to non-agenda items at the regular spot.
After the committee reports?
Yeah. All right, so we do have, that leads us to Superintendent of Schools report.
Warrants.
Are you, do you have reports, or is that?
I just wanted to give them a QSAC update.
Okay, great.
That's all
I'll
I was
lead into
going
that.
to do.
I'm gonna save that. Okay.
You don't have a full report, but a QSAC.
Yeah, just a QSAC.
Okay, so
So-
Danielle Shanley. Yeah, wait. Lauren and then Paige. Or was that for us? No, okay.
So
Paige.
on the work session, are those reports, or are those being moved to the regular? So I
Yeah,
have the
that's what I
wrong
was
one.
wondering. You have the HIV suspension and student safety.
That presentation was supposed to be at the regular meeting.
Yeah.
It's today. And all of that stuff is supposed to be today. If you're gonna do it tomorrow, that's fine.
Oh, the HIV and the suspension?
Yes.
report?
Yes, do you want to do that tonight or
I
move it to
can.
tomorrow?
No, I could do it right now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Let me get my, as my mother would say, let me get my bearings.
You had HIV suspension and then student safety data.
Okay. So let's see, February suspension report at the high school, there was none. At the middle school, okay, so don't be alarmed by this number because most of these situations, most of the suspensions for these violations in particular were in school. And these represent no recidivism. And therefore, we hope that these will not be repeat offenses. So we had 3 students at the middle school who were in violation of substance policy, who received 1 in-day suspension and 2 out-of-day suspensions. We had 2 students for fighting, with 2 in-school suspensions each, and 1 for inappropriate conduct with 2 in-school suspensions each. So we do try, outside of a policy that, or code of conduct that requires us to essentially provide an out-of-school suspension, we do everything we can to keep the suspensions inside, so that the students are supervised, so that there can be a counseling component and or an educational component. We do believe that that's appropriate for the grade and for the offenses. Okay. I'm going to do the HIB tomorrow, because this does not have the cover sheet on it, and I'm not going to go through all of those. I will do the HIB tomorrow.
Okay.
And I will do this student safety data system report. This needs to be submitted. It's actually a reporting period from September 1st through December 31st, and it has to be reported out, I think, before April. So this is like an HIB sort of summary report, which includes what the other HIB reports don't, which is all of the trainings. Okay, so it's really important to know that, and some of these numbers may seem a little inflated. However, some of the trainings are for individual students and or small groups of students, not necessarily for a full student body, okay? So at the high school, we had 5 trainings. At Gibbs and Berkeley, a total of 25 trainings combined. At David E. Owens, 15. And as you know, we've had increases in HIB incidents at the middle school and have conducted a variety of trainings at the middle school, both large group, small group, individual, etc. So that's an important component because, I mean, if all we do is punish and we don't train and remediate, that's really of no help. Okay. So I will do the HAB for February tomorrow. Okay, and I have a summary page. Okay, so all I wanted to share with you tonight was that we did participate in CUSAC this month. I should say we survived CUSAC this month. Lauren will talk to you about her visit on March 4th. Today, we reviewed with the county office team building tours, fiscal, governance, operations, and personnel. And although we will not have a final score from the state because the commissioner has to issue the final score, I can say that we fared very well. And I am anticipating an excellent final score, although I can't give you one right now because it's not official. But I am anticipating a very good report. We had a great day, and today we wrapped up earlier than I had anticipated. And I'll let Lauren speak to you about instruction program.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We had our instruction and program review for CUSAC on Friday, March 4th. It was a virtual visit, so we met with our county ed specialists online in a Google Meet. And prior to the 4th, they had access to our full curriculum, looked through all of our course offerings. We reviewed together and discussed student data, performance results dating back to the NJSLA, or New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, that was administered in spring of 2019, pre-COVID, as well as the fall Start Strong testing that we took earlier this school year. We also talked about tiered supports that are available in all of our schools, as well as INRS and the intervention and referral process. So I also cannot share the final score. We're awaiting that from the commissioner, but we did very, very well. So we were pleased. It was a long day, a little bit longer and a little more challenging because we were online, but it's nice that we can put that behind us now.
Yes? Very.
Yay.
Yay.
Is that it for your?
No, I do have other things. Is that
thing.
okay if I just
Yeah.
continue?
Yes.
Sorry.
You just paused.
Yeah, no, well, that was the CUSAC thing. So, I just wanted to touch upon our assessments. We had taken the full assessment, and I had shared that we were resuming regular administration of the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, or NJSLA. The NJSLA in ELA Math and Science will run, well, in ELA and Math, it will run May 2nd through May 24th. And in Science, actually, we're doing ELA Math and Science the month of May for students in grades 3 through 9, as well as Science in grades 5, 8, and 11. In addition to the NJSLA new this year, and I have mentioned it previously, our juniors are taking the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment, or the NJGPA. That testing began today, and it runs through the end of the week. Makeups will be scheduled for students who are absent next week as necessary. As previously shared with you, the NJGPA plays into the graduation requirements that were adopted by the State Board of Education on September 8th, 2021. A lot of dates here. For the class of 22, the class that is graduating this school year, we're looking for students. The first pathway for meeting the requirements is to demonstrate proficiency on the New Jersey Student Learning Assessment in ELA 10 and Algebra 1. The second pathway to demonstrate, to meet requirements, is to demonstrate proficiency in an alternate assessment identified by the department, such as PSAT, SAT, ACT. Third pathway to meet graduation requirements is to submit the portfolio to the Department of Education, the portfolio appeals process. And then for classes 23 through 25, so moving forward, next year's graduating class and on, the first pathway is to demonstrate proficiency on the grade 11 New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment, the test that the juniors are taking this year. If they do not meet proficiency in this, at this time when they're testing, they are able to retake it in the summer, and they will be afforded the same pathways as the other classes, such as demonstrating proficiency on an alternate assessment, as well as the portfolio appeal process. So I just wanted to let you know, because you probably have heard that testing is taking place. Right now at the high school, it's only for the juniors, and moving forward, that will play into the graduation requirements. I think you had mentioned the trip, and I don't know if any of our students mentioned it tonight,
Yeah, you could talk about
but the academies recently went on their first multi-day trip after 2 years. So the students were very excited, and it was nice to see our kids getting out there again. 24 of our juniors started with a 5:30 a.m. call time on Wednesday, March 9th, and they returned to the high school on Friday, March 11th in the evening around 7:30 p.m. So it was 2 nights and 3 days. The students visited Rowan University, University of Delaware, George Mason University, George Washington University, Towson University, and Johns Hopkins University. The students enjoyed a few college meals at some of the campus dining halls, kind of getting their first taste, no pun intended, of college life, as well as a few special treats from some famous eateries. The Klondike Kate's near the University of Delaware.
Oh.
Do you know that?
No.
I don't know that either.
No.
Follow up on that one. And Good Stuff Burger in Washington, D.C., where the former First Lady Michelle Obama used to take her girls for their renowned milkshakes. So it's touring campuses, a little bit of fun. They also went on an evening tour of Washington, D.C. on Thursday evening and visited some of the monuments and special sites. They think they might have seen a possible vice presidential motorcade, which was exciting. And they also found the tour guide who walked them on the evening tour to be quite informative, as they were kind of tying it back to some of their learning from Mr. Tusa's AP history lessons, while remembering Thomas Jefferson and Dr. Martin Luther King, and when visiting the Lincoln Memorial. The night concluded with a stroll by the White House, a glimpse at the Washington Monument, and a reflective walk around the Vietnam and World War II memorials. Needless to say, when they returned on Friday, they were exhausted.
My gosh, I'm exhausted listening.
But they're ready for their next adventure, and just stay tuned for some information. We're looking at a trip to Pittsburgh, which may take place later in the fall or the spring of next year. I want to give a special thanks to our Academy Coordinator, Michelle Harrell, and our chaperones, Ed Trinkleback, Kaylee Orochi, and Sasha Rashid, our guidance intern, for joining the students and making this all possible. So thank you to all of them. It was great to see these kinds of things happening again. On Wednesday, March 2nd, students at Berkeley and B.F. Gibbs Elementary School joined millions of peers across the country to celebrate reading as part of the National Education Association's annual Read Across America event. Students enjoyed a day full of fun activities that encouraged reading and welcomed guest readers. Many of you have joined us, as well as Mayor Petrino, our superintendent, district administrators, town council members, and also students from New Milford High School, which is always great. In addition to the Read Across America Week, the elementary schools also embarked on a special, and I think I previously spoke about this as well, all-school book club called One School, One Book. All K through 2 students received a copy of Boris on the Move by Andrew Joyner. So all kindergarten through second grade students received the same book, and all third through fifth grade students received the same book, which was titled Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. The theme for the week was An Adventure at Your Door. So both books, even though some were appropriate for our earlier readers, some for upper elementary, circled around that theme, shared that theme. So they had a common thread, if you will, through all of the classes. The One School, One Book initiative is intended to build a community of readers. Everyone, students, teachers, and administrative staff participated in the week-long interactive celebration of reading. That was great to see. We're also doing a One School, One Book initiative at the middle school, and a version of that in the high school with our ELA and history department. So more information will be shared at a future meeting on that. And let me just make sure I hit on everything. I did. That concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Yes. Anthony?
Regarding One School, One Book, every student gets a copy.
Correct.
School
So-
property.
We,
Spoken like a true superintendent.
You know where I'm going with it.
I think it's good.
Where are you going with that?
What are you doing with it afterwards? The book's been read by 3 grades.
So,
I'll have to read it next year.
So, we kept the book in school for the duration of the week, for readability purposes, really. We didn't want parents to feel like we were assigning homework. So it was a text that we worked through in school throughout the week. And then at the end, the book went home with the children.
Otherwise, you got a lot of books laying around. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Alvaro. Are there any other questions or comments? No. Okay. All right, now we will review agenda items for discussion. Review of the tentative agenda for the regular meeting to be held on March 16th, 2022. Review of board action. Okay. Review of educational programs and curriculum. I do have a question. C33. I can say most sorry if you don't have it in front of you. I don't have it in front of me either. I wrote this at home. Do you have it in front of your page?
It's the field trips.
Yeah, it's the field trips. So this board tends to understand the need for field trips and the benefits of them, and usually never have questions about it. But we did in the past have a field trip come up where we had a safety concern. So we would like to know where they're going to. There was a safety patrol field trip. I actually know as a parent because my daughter told me, but the other board members probably don't know where it is. So I have a 2-part question on that. Can we share with the board where it is? And the second part is it possible when teachers are filling out field trip requests to make it required that they have to put where they're going?
Well, we should be approving
Of
where
course,
they're
I
going.
approve
don't
where they're
understand
going.
what
Okay, but it's not on, on what we
You want it
got?
on your list.
It wasn't on the, it was?
That's what I'm asking you. You want it on your list. where
Yeah,
they're
on
going.
our,
Oh,
like,
sure.
so when we
Sure,
see
sure.
it, because like, in the past, we had one going to, it was approved by the superintendent, and our board members said, you know, we kind of have a concern about the safety for that,
Okay,
so.
so I'm looking for the one that you're asking about.
And I think it's a great trip. I just
Sally.
think the board should know where it is.
Agreed.
Am I
Is it
looking
up?
at the wrong
It's a
thing?
grade 8 on June 13th.
Bella told me, so I know.
Okay.
The kids always know everything.
And it's East Rutherford.
Sure.
Do you
I
have
have
it?
so many here, that's why I'm just looking.
I'm mixing them up.
Palisades Trail cleanup, student council picnic,
Is that the,
I don't see it.
American
Oh, I see
Dream
it.
Mall.
Graduation thank you
American
trip.
Dream Mall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I can see that.
It's a graduation
Safety
thank you trip
patrol.
for safety patrol members.
Graduation thank you trip, yes.
So it's a great trip. I just wanted the rest of the board to know that, and also ask if we can have it on our list, that
Yes.
they let us know where they're going.
Sure.
Is this supposed to be a surprise?
No.
So then it should be on our list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't though. Like it was put like the description of what it was for, everything was filled out,
But
but
it
the
didn't say
actual
where on the
location
list that you
wasn't
have.
there.
See, I only have
Yeah.
these sheets, so I don't know what you're
Unless I
looking
misread it. Do you
at.
have it in front of you?
I opened it. It
I
looks
didn't
like
see
the
American
town was
Dream
listed.
Mall on there.
The town, not the
just says
venue.
It just says
Yeah.
East
Yeah.
Rutherford.
Venue.
It says
Okay.
East Rutherford, just
Oh,
not the
okay.
venue.
So that could be
I certainly
anything.
hope it wasn't a surprise because I just said it out loud.
And I asked you to.
And you did, so I'm blaming you.
No, but I mean, like I said, I heard from my daughter, so.
Oh, so
if it's a
she knew.
surprise to
She
somebody
knew.
else,
Okay.
She knew where it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why I wasn't concerned where they're going. I just want,
Yes. And I don't know why the location wasn't listed, but
yeah.
the
Town was.
town was. I don't know
Because in the
why.
past, it used to be listed, but
Yeah,
just
it
in
used to be
this-
listed.
Yeah, maybe the
Sometimes
shop
they-
ride.
yeah.
It needs to be, the destination does need to include the actual destination, not the location.
Yeah,
The
it could just
actual
be a
destination.
a
Has
misinterpretation of
Yep.
what
Yeah.
destination
We
is.
can
It's
do
not the
that.
only one.
Yeah,
It
so
it has
just moving
before.
forward, let's do that.
Absolutely.
And the rest of the board now, you know, it's
Because
the
it's-
American Dream Mall.
It has before, it's in the description in most of them,
Yeah.
but it should be in the destination.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments or questions for that? Okay. Then we will move on to review of personnel recommendation. I also have one question on this one.
Mm-hmm,
P121.
mm-hmm.
Usually, and Paige, do you have that open in front of you?
Yeah.
There, can you say what I didn't?
What do you want me to?
Maybe that was the two that I gave back to you? Oh, I do. I lied. I have it. The approval of extra pay appointments for Jessica Yeager and,
Thomas Carizzi.
I don't know why I wrote this down,
So
but
these two
For the
are
portfolio
the
thing.
portfolio things that Lauren was just talking about. We have 31 portfolios that need to be processed, submitted in either ELA or math for students who need to meet that graduation requirement. This is something we have every year, and I believe it's negotiated.
It is.
It's a
Okay.
negotiated stipend.
that's what I was going to ask, because usually
Yes.
there's like an as per negotiation,
It is a
maximum of something
negotiated stipend,
hours.
yes.
So it's a negotiated stipend.
Yep.
Okay. That's my only question. Yes, Mr. Albro?
Regarding P115, are there multiple times in a year where lateral moves take place, or is it semester based?
Twice a year. So September and then midway.
Can I ask, probably for Dr. Kuchar, how do you go about budgeting, not knowing?
I always know.
I know, I know. Maybe someplace, I know.
Yeah.
Generally, you see who's taking courses, and you kind of track it. It's not always easy to track, but you can kind of tell when people have been taking courses for a while, you know, they all come through both of our offices, so.
That's how I know, by the tuition reimbursement.
The tuition reimbursements.
And based on how many credits and what year it's
Mhm.
gonna
Is there a limit contractually as to how many credits they can take?
how much we cover.
How much we cover.
But not in this.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I was speaking up.
Might be a monetary amount, but is there a credit limit?
No, they can make it all the way up to Masters Plus, whatever that column is, and.
No, in terms of, in a school year or in a calendar
No,
year, there's no
nope.
limit?
No, and that's become easier to achieve because so many programs are online now. I mean, it used to be that if you had an online program, people looked at you like, where'd you get your doctoral degree from? But now, I
still
mean,
look that way.
everybody's, what'd you say?
I still look that way.
It's like Nova, somewhere like that. But now so much of it's online.
So can I say, like, to clarify, there is a limit on the dollar value of credits that are reimbursed?
Yes,
There's a cap,
yes,
but to your point, if they take it and don't get reimbursed, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
So there's no cap to what they can earn, there's just a cap to what they can be reimbursed
First for.
for each year.
yes,
So their movement is not capped?
correct.
All right, anything else? Review of finance. And the finance committee did
Meet tonight.
meet tonight, so our chair will report on that.
Mhm.
Review of facilities. Review of athletics co-curricula. Liaison board committee reports. Do you want to go, Paige, you're our head of finance, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
So the only thing that I will bring up, it's actually an item that, so the finance committee we started our meeting, we're actually going to continue after this and stay and finish it. So we were discussing the draft, the preliminary budget draft. So I don't really want to say anything on that just because we're not done. We still have more to do. But there was one item that came up regarding an item that is not currently on the regular agenda, which is around a middle school track coach. So the athletic director had presented to the superintendent, and we received a letter as well. There are 60 students who are interested in this, and currently in the stipended positions that have been contracted, there is only a head coach. So in order to do that, we would have to work with the NMEA to make sure that we could put this other position in. But it was not on the agenda because the superintendent wanted to speak to the finance committee first, explain what it is. So there's 60 students that are currently interested, having one coaches. You can't have 60 people, it's not sustainable, but we don't want to discourage that. So there is a potential for that. Since there is no current stipended position listed in the contract, the superintendent is going to speak to the president of the NMEA and let them know what our plans are for what we want to do to handle this, and then make sure that that we're all clear on what happens. So that conversation, I think, will happen after this meeting, now that the finance committee has said that we do support that. And then that should make it possibly onto the agenda for tomorrow when we go into the regular session. So once that's settled, right? I don't know, the one thing I didn't ask was when the season technically starts for the middle school, because I know that the middle school seasons are a little truncated. They're not in line with the high school, so I wasn't sure if it was April.
Am I right? April?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, April 4th.
Yeah, April 4th.
Okay, good. So we do have this, this meeting, so we want to make sure that we get that in there before. So, other than that, the finance committee is going to, like I said, stay on after this and finish with that. And then tomorrow, there will be more to discuss on what we came out with, because this draft budget does have to be submitted to the county.
Right, it's just a preliminary.
It's preliminary to say this is where we're going.
And we didn't want to hold the public up, so we said we'll start the meeting and we'll finish our committee meeting afterwards. We're going to stay.
Yeah, because we weren't taking any action now anyway.
No.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Are there any other committee liaison reports?
Nice question about that. So tomorrow, there's no action being taken on the budget?
No, there's no action being taken tonight.
But tomorrow, there's going to be action on the
Yes.
budget?
Yes.
It would be just to
It's not the
submit to
final
the
budget.
county for preliminary, it's a preliminary budget.
It's not a final budget.
It's not a
and
final budget.
It's not that it won't be reviewed.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's not that it can't be reviewed. It's that there's a preliminary budget.
So the preliminary budget, it's in that binder,
Yes.
is going to be voted on tomorrow?
Just to submit to the county for preliminary review. It does not include like the April full budget adoption, presentation,
That the board will
explanation,
discuss.
that the board.
All right, this is not really a committee report, and I know Cheryl is our liaison, but I wanted to let the board know, where did I took notes. School boards had a session, and Nicole and I were able to attend. So I just wanted to share some interesting information. They had a session on budgets, believe it or not, so I found it educational. And then they did breakout sessions. So Nicole and I divided and conquered and tried to cover as much as we could and take notes. So I went into a session that had to do with communicating the budget to the public. And that was actually really refreshing because I went in eager beager, I need to learn. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ideas and bring them back, and we're doing everything that they said to do. And all these other schools were wowed by it, and I was texting Nicole, I'm like, when are they gonna tell us something new? They said, have a state of the district, we do that. They said, post on your website, we do that. Have coffee hour with your superintendent, we do that. So that is what they said, and the websites. So that's what they gave us. And then they also said to get parent involvement, which I thought was very interesting. Our district is not a district that, we have a large ELL program, but we have so many different languages spoken. It's not a district where you would have a translator
Single
on
language,
hand.
right.
But they said if a parent requests it, if they want to come to a certain meeting and they request it, have the translators available for those parents who request it. So I don't know if we do that already or not.
We haven't done it for like a budget presentation, but we do pay services. If we
Yes.
can't provide the translation ourselves, we do pay for services so that parents can have translators at,
Meetings.
excuse me, morning meetings.
Okay. So that was one thing that was new to me.
Like an IEP meeting or something like that.
Yes, that was one thing that was new to me. And then also that the March 29th is the next county board meeting. So put that on your calendars, everyone. March 29th.
Is it live?
And I believe they said it was choice.
Hybrid.
It's hybrid. You're gonna have the choice to go in person or virtual still. Nicole, did you want to share anything? Did you find, or you were like me?
I was like you. I mean, it was just refreshing to go into different breakout rooms and hear that everything we're doing is just, everybody was like surprised about retreats and getting together and setting board goals and things like that. And
You know, like,
just-
we do that.
I'm like, well, we do that. And just the balance that we have on our board, it just seemed that there was a lot of other boards that had a lot of hostility and tension. And I just feel like that we're live streaming and that people have the opportunity to come in person and still watch where other districts aren't giving that. So it was just refreshing to hear that I feel like we're above the curve.
Yeah, but we'll continue to attend more, and if we learn anything, we'll share it. And anyone else who attends anything, please share that out. Only one other thing, actually, you know what, I'll save that for new board business. Which we're getting to, additional board items. I'll say it now. We received an invitation, it was a letter sent to me, but said, this invitation is for you and all of the board members. We are invited to the opening ceremonies. We received an official invitation to the opening ceremonies for the New Milford 100th anniversary, and it's from the Planning Committee. It is on Sunday, April 3rd at 2 p.m. at New Milford Borough Hall. You know what, I'm going to read you the letter.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm writing to you on behalf of New Milford's 100th Anniversary Planning Committee. We would like to invite you and the members of the New Milford Board of Education to the opening ceremonies for our celebration of the borough's centennial on Sunday, April 3rd at 2 p.m. at New Milford Borough Hall. During the ceremony, we will raise our centennial flag for the first time and will unveil the contents of the time capsule buried 25 years ago. I think that's kind of fun. Our guests will include current and former officials who have served New Milford at various levels of government, as well as representatives from the New Milford's educational, religious, business, and civic organizations. The public is invited to attend. We will also live stream and record the ceremony. A brief reception will follow the ceremony. And then there's an email address to respond, so I'll email that to all of you after the meeting if you want to RSVP if you plan to attend or not. And you as well.
Thank you. I got one too.
Okay, good. All right, and then that's all I have. Does anyone else have anything else for us? Old business? Oh, yes, you have
Old
something?
business?
Old business.
Okay, so I just wanted the board and the public to know that we did have a nice meeting, you know this, with our attorney, our insurance broker, and the mayor, Tanya and I, in an attempt to try to help assist with the busing through some partnership with the town so that we could help support project graduation. So everybody seems to be on the same page. I thank you all for your support. The mayor has informed me that he has the town council's support, and that our attorneys will be, they have the go-ahead from both sides to work on some sort of shared services partnership agreement so that we can make that happen and help support project graduation this year with busing.
Question?
Mm-hmm.
So, going forward, if there is another plan that does not involve out of state, because out of state is where they got like a charter bus.
Yeah.
But if it does not involve out of state in the future, is this a repeatable
Good
agreement?
question.
I would
And
need
this
to
was
find out if
discussed.
it's something that needs to happen annually.
Right.
Or if it's something that will hold us as a long-term agreement. I will need to find that out.
Just all the work that everyone is doing, it would be good that if there's a history
We wouldn't
and a-
have to
and a
do it
past
again.
precedent. Right,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
We discussed that in the meeting, which they're working on, and we
They're working
also
on.
discussed streamlining it. So, you know, from year to year, things are just passed from the head
Right.
parent to the head parent. So sort of coming up with something to
Mm.
help make that process easier as well.
Mhm.
Yes,
Do we know when the tickets go on sale for the High School Musical?
Technically, they're on.
Technically, they're on sale, but when I went on the website yesterday, it wasn't working.
So there are three links.
Oh.
There are, but they're
Tomorrow.
they're up
That's
now.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
okay,
I was
Dan.
Purposely didn't.
Is it
include
gonna
that
be-
because I didn't want
is
to
that
sit on
'cause it's gonna
Kenzie's
be
thunder,
fixed?
and I didn't realize.
'Cause
it
they're
was
ready
on
now.
sale tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Go
wait.
ahead.
Too many people speaking. Chair recognizes Mrs. Ryan.
They're ready now. We have links. So when you say tomorrow, you mean the actual NMHS musical is gonna be fixed? Okay, perfect. So,
Thank you, Dan.
thank you. Because there are links, which I can share with all of you.
But they weren't going to anything.
But no, they do. But there's individual for each day.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't work if you went to the main one, so
Yeah.
it'll work now if you go to the main one. But if someone is eager to do something before that or isn't able to, I'll forward it to the board. They're $15 for general admission and $10 for students and seniors.
Okay, well, I'll work with Dan and make sure that that's updated on our website, because when I go there now. you
Right,
can't-
that's what I said, but I have literal link that you click on and it will give you,
Different
it will
links
give you
for
tickets.
individual days.
Right,
Show
okay.
times.
But we want to put that out there for the public, so Dan's going to
Yeah,
help me with
so-
that, right?
Chair recognizes Dan.
The links were sent to the parents and to the crew's parents and to the teaching staff for 1 day, so they had a little pre-sale.
Okay.
Tickets will go on sale tomorrow
There you
for
go.
the general public.
Perfect. Thank you.
The NMHS website will have that.
Thank you.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, but yes, their parents should be.
So that's
Yes,
why I
they
got
should.
it
Parents
before the-
should, that's
the
why you have a
public
link,
attacks
Mrs.
it.
Ryan.
She's just willing to spread
Just
the
word.
word.
Spread the good
Everyone asked me
news.
today, I didn't know it was supposed to only be me.
My daughter told me
Oh,
this
you
trip,
found
but I
everyone.
wasn't gonna put it out there.
What is it? What is it?
The musical? The wedding.
The wedding singer.
Okay, is there anything else? Old business, new business? You're good. All right, in that case, at this time, we will open to the public for items not on the agenda,
Or anything.
or anything,
At
yes.
this point, or anywhere.
As outlined in New
We have
Milford
such
Board
a
of
big
Education
public.
bylaw 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 2 minutes. Motion, Joseph Luna, seconded by Stephanie Coffinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There we go.
I wanted to, Mrs. Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Juanita Adelon. I'm address 253 Birchwood Road. I'm coming in as the president and treasurer of the Athletic Boosters. I wanted to give you a flyer of our pancake breakfast. I guess it's easy to pass it down so that I'm not watching. It takes place at our high school cafeteria. And
Can I see one?
just wanted to tell you about it so that we know right now it's only a 2-person, so we want members. Anybody want to come, please? It's just me and Sheila Kurtz. It is a fun day. Mr. Adio helps us with getting volunteers. We usually have a free little basket that people can come in for, like an adult basket or a little kid's Easter basket. We usually ask the New Milford Rec so that we can borrow their Easter money, and we'll have a student walk around and we have lollipops. It is a great event. It always falls on Palm Sunday, and I know that's the day after of our Easter break or spring break, whatever you want to call it. So we always get very low attendance, so I'm hoping that you could, in this forum that we have, you can actually spread the word more and allow people to enjoy a nice, non-affiliated, just a nice day, you know, together. And it's cute, we have we have the flyers, the placemats are actually in-town businesses that they come in and they donate. And, you know, people sit there and they stare at it. ShopRite has already agreed to do everything for us, other than cook. We do it all. We pick it up Saturday and we set up. We usually set up like 15 tables just to give everybody some space. We usually get a nice day, you know, in terms of weather. So it's always, you know, a great day for that. So I want to make sure you guys knew about it. I know you saw the approval maybe 2 months ago, but who remembers, or maybe even before the holiday, that we asked to use the cafeteria, so who remembers that? We do. And so again, I hope to see you there, you know, and bring your families. Make it we're trying to make it annually, so this is our 3rd, right? It could have been 5, but who's counting, right? Make it a tradition is what we're trying to have our families come. It was my husband's family tradition, and we would like to continue that over and over again. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware.
I'll be sure
Passionate we are
to,
about this.
we'll get it in the community backpack on April 1st and April 8th. We'll put it in twice for you. We'll
Perfect,
scan it and it'll go out to everybody.
Appreciate that.
And just in case, we have anyone watching at home, you said it's Palm Sunday, but I want to let them know the information that's on here. It's at the high school cafeteria, 8 a.m. to noon on April 10th, and tickets are available at the door.
At the door, yeah, it's just, you know.
Proceeds
It's
benefit
nice.
scholarships
Yes, right
for
now
for
we
graduating New Milford High School athletes. That's
Yeah,
important to
we
share.
have 2,
Yes.
we already talked to, Sheila Kurtz spoke to the guidance counselors. I think that's the person that runs all the scholarships.
Mhm.
So we already have our question. She'll do that whole, whatever your magic that you guys do in that website that the kids click and write. So,
It's already there.
It's already there.
So, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, we help that and also bridge, what your budget can't do for our athletics, the small little things. Hopefully we can fill it, you know. Hopefully you can raise that budget, but, so it becomes less on us, but throw it out there. So, thanks again, appreciate it, and have a good night.
Thank
All right, thank you very much,
Anybody
Mrs.
have any
Adler.
questions for me?
I do, actually. You started to say it's just the 2 of you. So it's just the 2 of you running the whole thing? Like, are you looking for volunteers
Volunteers
to
for
help
that
that day as well as be a part of the boosters?
I'll be happy with what I get that day, and if you have fun and you want to stay.
There you go.
I'll
Okay.
give you a title.
There you go.
We have 2 extra ones that were, you know, doubling up, I'm good.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we need to vote to adjourn to close to the public. Can I get a motion, please? Motion by Cheryl Calderon.
Carol.
What?
Oh, close to the public.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think there's, she was the only one here. We can
Yes.
close. Yeah. Motion by Cheryl Calderon, seconded by Anthony Alvaro. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Board member requests for additional information. Okay, in that case, we are going to go into closed for legal, and when we return, we will not be taking action. So, motion to go into closed. Motion by John DeCosta, seconded by Paige Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?